Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the ranch. As you can see, it is indeed another beautiful day in South Texas. About 61 degrees out here today. It was 70 yesterday, going to be in the 50s tomorrow, and then back up into the 70s again. So not too shabby. Even us South Texas folks can put up with that. Hope the weather's good where you are, and I hope you guys are all doing okay. The weather was a completely different story a couple of weeks ago. Man, we had some white stuff come out of the sky that we're not used to seeing. And first appreciable amount of snow that we've seen since a real heavy snow we had back in 2017 in December. And we had a really good snow then. The one we had a couple of weeks ago, it did accumulate. We did see some areas on the ground where it did kind of pack up a little bit, but nothing compared to what a lot of you guys see commonly through the winter. That snow we had back in December of 2017 we probably got 6 inches of snow, which is really, really rare for us. I don't think we had a snow like that since back around 1984. And between 84 and a couple of years ago, you know, not much was seen at all. So snows are pretty exciting around here. This is kind of an interesting part of the ranch where we are right now, and I'll get you off that tripod and show you something. This is a really interesting area. There's a cliff right behind us there. Okay, we're back at the back of the ranch, and there's a creek that runs through it back here, and it's got a cliff on either side. You can't really tell it, the camera tends to flatten it out, but that's probably about a 50-foot drop. I'm going to throw a rock. I'm trying to keep from sliding in there. That'd be a good video. I'm going to throw a rock out there right now so you can see how far down that is. Interesting story. Drew was out here one time, and right over there by that tree, he was coming this way, right over there by that tree right there, he jumped a mama deer and her baby, and they both came running down this way, and they got right here to the edge of the cliff, and the mom took off through there, and the baby kept going straight, and Drew thought, oh my gosh, that thing's going to be dead or just really hurt badly. And he came over here, and the little deer was going so fast it sailed all the way, landed out in the middle of that creek, and was swimming around screaming for its mom. And she came back down there, and they got out on the other side, and little baby was totally unscathed. But anyway, I thought y'all would like to see that. That creek and this cliff runs about 500 yards that way, and probably about 300 or 400 yards that way. And there's usually about another 3 feet of water in that creek right now. But it's mighty dry around here. As a matter of fact, let me get you back up on the tripod here. Okay, we're all setting back in action again. What I was going to say is the whole ranch is dry right now. The creek is down. The creek makes a big curve around the back part of the property and curves up against the north border as well. And it's down, you know, 2 or 3 feet right now, which is kind of scary. We're in a condition, it's not extreme, it's a severe drought level that we're in right now. So we're needing some rain pretty desperately, and that little snow we got the other day wasn't enough to really even put a dent in it. But you can see that the pastures are dry and the grasses are all dry, so there's not a whole lot of nutrition. So we have the deer feeders going pretty much 24/7. You can see a deer feeder out in the middle of this big pasture right here. But anyway, the animals are ready for spring, so they can start getting their groceries back. And in this next clip, you'll see a little white-tailed buck standing here in front of the camera. And this is a really, really pretty video, and that's because it is made by a brand new video camera that was provided by one of our longtime subs on this channel, Joy Ann Strasser. And if you look down at the bottom, right in the middle, it'll say Strasser Cam around there. Joy Ann provided this camera in honor of Uncle Floyd and Mark. So How could I say no to that? So anyway, you'll be able to see a whole lot of good videos off this camera, and it's a pretty fancy camera. It also has a really high quality audio to it as well. So we're expecting big things from this one, and I've got it positioned in an area where I think it's going to get a lot of work. So anyway, thank you very much, Joyanne. You are the best. So as I was going through all the SD cards, looking at all the footage of all the game camera animals this past week, I noticed that we're getting a whole lot of jackrabbits. These are what we call black-tailed jackrabbits. And honestly, they used to call them, what the old settlers called them, jackass rabbits, because their ears were so long they looked like donkeys. And honestly, they're really not rabbits at all. These guys are hares. Even though we call them jackrabbits, and even the books will talk about how jackrabbits are in western United States down into Mexico, still they're really not rabbits at all. Rabbits are born hairless with their eyes closed. They live in dens, holes in the dirt, things like that. These jackrabbits here, which are really hares, are born fully furred. They've got all their fur on them. Their eyes are wide open, and they nurse for a few weeks, and then the mother cuts them loose. They don't hang around at all. They're not a very social rabbit at all for other rabbits or for people in common. But these jackrabbits, like I said, they're prevalent in the western United States and down into Mexico. And they can move, man. They can run about 35 miles an hour or so. And you know, I've got a 12-mile-an-hour Pomeranian that thinks he's a rabbit chaser. He'll give chase to any of them, and he thinks in his head he's almost caught a few. I mean, what he doesn't realize is, you know, he's pretty quick off the line. He's pretty quick at first. But what he doesn't realize about the jackrabbits is not only can they run 35 miles an hour, but they can turn 90 degrees at a time at 35 miles an hour. So old Marty, you know, he's sure that one of these days he'll get one. He always comes back after he chases a rabbit. He comes back with that look that says,
"Missed it by that much."
Yep, good old Marty. And as I was going through all these rabbit videos, just amazed at how many of them we have now, I noticed this one video had this big blur that just shot across the bottom of the screen. And in looking at that, I thought, what in the heck was that? Man, he is moving. And so I ran it in sequence to see what it was, and I kind of had an idea then. And then I slowed the thing down to where I could really see what it was. And yep, there's our old buddy Wile E. Coyote right there. And guess why he's here? And you guessed it right, because there's an increase in the number of rabbits. Anytime the rabbit number goes up, coyotes come in. The rabbits don't hibernate, nor do they migrate. They stay right here. So anytime we see an increase in the number of rabbits, it's because they either had a very good birthing year or the predator numbers were down, and the coyotes have been gone for a while. So we just recently been seeing a number of coyotes come back, and that's why, it's because there's a nice food source for them here now. These coyotes, pure carnivores, we see a lot of them around here sporadically. We'll go for months and not see them at all, and then we'll see a whole bunch of them all at once. And that usually waxes and wanes with the rabbit population, jackrabbit population. But the coyotes, big ones, get up to about 40, 45 pounds, and they have been known to jump over fences that were 12 feet high. The litter size goes from 1 to 19, but they usually have about 6 pups at a time. And they mate and stay together for life. The mom picks the husband, and they stay together for life. I could say something there, but I'm going to let that one go. You can use your imagination. Many of the coyotes that we see around here are just scratching and scratching and scratching, and a lot of them don't have a whole lot of hair because they scratch their hair off. Those particular coyotes are most commonly infected with sarcoptic mange, which is a mite, called scabies. Humans get it. Almost all mammals can get scabies. The female mites burrow under the skin. They burrow into tunnels and they lay eggs in the tunnels. Then the babies are hatched in there and come out of the tunnels. So really, really itchy. So it's pretty well assumed right now that most of the chupacabra reports are nothing more than a poor old coyote that's loaded down with sarcoptic mange mites, has no or very, very little hair, and a body full of scabs. And man, they are ugly, and man, they are miserable. Well, guys, that's about it from out here on the ranch tonight. Sun's going down. It's already behind the hills there. I'll show you. What have I done to my camera? Okay, there we go. Got you back. And isn't that sunset just a beautiful view? We really get some pretty ones out here, some breathtaking sunsets, especially this time of year. Well, guys, like I said, that's about it from out here on the ranch today. I just love it when you stop by. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I'll let you get back to your normal life. God bless you all. Thanks again for coming by, and always remember I love you. Bye-bye now. So what you doing there, Al?
Neutering a dog, Dad.
All right. Who's going to learn you?
That's a mistake.
What did I say? I thank you. I thank you very much for this special award that you gave me this morning. It gives me a great feeling to know that my God loves me and my church does too. From my heart, this occasion is right up on top of the list for a few other good things that have happened to me in my life. I want each of you to know that I love you. I thank you for your concern, for your prayers, and for your love. And may God bless each one of you this day. Amen. Amen. This will not take the place of your driver's license. It's a license to usher as long as the Lord lets you stay on this earth, okay? Listen. He's always afraid somebody's going to take his job. They can't do it now. No way.